What's up, YouTube? Nights. Welcome to Lords of the Long Box presents the Cover Price Top 10 for the week ending October 2nd, our first show of October, our favorite time of the year. Hope you guys are following along. This is kind of my costume, my cloak. So, before we get started, while you guys are congregating, every year we always play some type of creepy music, because you guys are tired of the same old, same old. So let's get things started with a little Halloween theme type music, shall we say. Oh, that Exorcist song at the end, though. Hell, Lucifer. I see what you did there, Ryan. Dark Side Jedi. Say what's good to the people.
Yo, happy Tuesday. It's October, baby. And I see a lot of Halloween comic covers on Instagram. That's pretty cool.
That's right. And my lady of the long box, say what's good, everybody.
Hey, everyone. I am so excited. This list tonight is awesome. It's a good list.
All right, let me set the over-under on what you think is on this list, which is probably accurate, that it's quite the list. So over-under on Deadpool Wolverine-related books is 8.5. Wow, that's a lot. But we've seen it happen before, man. Let's get right to it, boys. We're going to show sponsored by friends over at CovrPrice.com. Go to CovrPrice.com, sign up for a 2-week free trial or $6.99 a month. You get your price guides, collections, and trends. This here top 10 list that we cover every Tuesday, 6 p.m., as well as the Shakers on every 6 p.m. On Thursday. If you're listening on podcasts, Alexa, play Lords of the Long Box podcast on Spotify. Also, they sponsor our friends over at Bird City Comics and Nearing Nirvana, which is on right after us. So make sure you peep them out. I forgot to link you guys, darn it, but I'm going to make sure people go over there. All right, so let's get things started right off the top of the bat. As always, there's always a runner-up to the top 10. What do we got for that runner-up? Is it first Deadpool Wolverine-related book?
Here we go. Starting out quick with the Wolverines. Uncanny X-Force, #1. This is the Esad Ribic from 2010, and there have been a ton of matchups between Deadpool and Wolverine featured on the top 10. But how about a team-up? Apocalypse is on the rise, so Archangel and Wolverine recruit several others to form the Uncanny X-Force. One member being Deadpool. Every member is fantastic at killing, especially Wolverine and Deadpool. The community thinks there isn't a better team to take down Apocalypse and has picked up the first issue in this series as a result. But this is mostly trending due to the first appearance of the gray suits, specifically Deadpool's gray suit, which Ryan Reynolds wore in the teaser to Deadpool 3 Wolverine reveal video last week. We tracked 13 copies sold. It had a 7-day trend of 164% and a high sale of $20 for a raw copy with very fine fair market value of about $8.
Do you remember when Deadpool 2 came out and people were specking on the Wolverine gray suit then, and it was just simply because he caught on fire? You know, sometimes you spec for the wrong reason. As long as you got it though. Shit, I gotta find mine. I think I have mine somewhere. So Uncanny X-Force #1 coming in as the runner-up. Let's get right to the top 10 with Milady of the Long Box. Laura, what do we got for number 10? This should be no surprise.
All right, Wolverine #1 from 1982. It took 8 years for the Raging Canadian, aka Wolverine, to get his own series. 8 years. And a limited series, no less. Less popular characters have debuted with more. Yet 4 issues didn't stop Wolverine from cementing his hold upon the comic fandom. But Bub, this series came out swinging with a fantastic story from Chris Claremont and the ever-popular art from Frank Miller. There's a reason Wolverine became a favorite of many, and that started with this book for the most part. We tracked 25 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 92%, with a high sale of $800 for a CGC 9/8, with a raw near mint fair market value of $145.
For the longest time, man, this was the miniseries to get. I think I've bought and sold this set like at least 4 or 5 different times,
right?
To be honest. I mean, my goal was I'm going to get all 4 in a 9.8. And I quickly realized,
what is it, number 2 or number 3? That's the all black cover. That's a tough one in 9/8.
Yeah. Where he's kind of like
he's on his knees
down.
or whatever.
Yeah, he's on his knees. Yeah. But it's amazing how it took so long for him to actually get his own solo series. I'm thinking, maybe we'll see it on the list, but I mean, 8 years later, something like that. Something crazy. Anyway, number 10 on the list, Wolverine #1 from 1982 at 9.8. So for a cool 800 bonards. All right, what do we got for number 9?
Well, here we go. Wolverine Annual 99 #1. Of course, this is from good old 1999. One of the many fantastic battles between the two Weapon X projects. This one reigns at the top for many. And it was prime Deadpool with jokes for days and an arsenal to match. When Wolverine decides it's payback time for Deadpool after he punched Kitty Pryde in the face in their previous fight, they throw down. Some werewolves get involved. Another guy turns into a regular wolf after breaking some laws. And yeah, it's weird. It's bombastic. It's fantastic. It is the 90s. This was a significant introduction for many to Deadpool, as young fans of Wolverine were enamored with a quippy merc with a mouth. Not to mention fans in this day and age have been able to pick up copies for relatively cheap before the news. We tracked 14 copies sold. It had a 7-day trend of 184% and a high sale of $127 for a CGC 9.8. Fair market value near mint raws are going for $23.
Wow, that's it. I mean, geez. I mean, like I said, people are just finding anything and everything that's they meet up or they want. But what's up with Deadpool being a dick punching Kitty Pryde in the face, man?
I know, right?
Jeez. Shout out to Ferdbird the Nerd. Ferdbird the Nerd. Happy Tuesday, gents, and holla at my BFF Laura. Look at that. All right. So Wolverine Annual 99 #1. If you're keeping track at home, that's 3 so far. The over under is 8.5. What do we got for number 8?
All right, number 8, we have Wolverine number 1 from 1988.
See how I foreshadowed that earlier with saying that,
You called it. You called it.
You're such a
Marvel
pro.
was slacking back in the day. A full 14 years after his debut in Hulk 181, Wolverine finally got his first solo ongoing series. What an incredible journey for the character, to be sure. While his fans have always included this book in his grouping of early keys, it certainly took fifth or even sixth fiddle to some of his more premium books. Relatively attainable and sporting a fantastic new villain, storyline, and overall development of Wolverine, this book has always been a favorite. With the recent news, it has become even more so. We tracked 28 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 99%, with a high sale of 550 for a CGC 9.8 and a near mint fair market value of $82.
And not very. I mean, it's not that easy to get a 9.8 on this all black cover.
I have a beat ass copy of this one.
I took Magnet.
The spines on these were.
I was going to say the spine is beat on mine.
Yeah, well, they were notoriously crooked too during the print. I remember I bought like 3 or 4 of them. They were like crooked, the alignment of the spine. So, and there was huge print runs on this. They were hyping the hell out of this when it came out, and this is basically Wolverine in Madripoor, I think. As I said, all right, whatever. Anyway, number 8 on the list is Wolverine number 1, 1988. It's his first ongoing solo. What do we got for number 7? Are we going to break the trend?
Here we go. Whoa, it's Disney Kingdoms.
Whoa.
Hey, it's something different.
Okay.
Figment number 1. Yeah, this is from 2014. And Deadline recently reported that a Disney film is in the works featuring the character Figment, a small purple dragon who serves as the mascot of Epcot's Imagination Pavilion in Orlando. The feature hails from Seth Rogen's Point Grey with Pokemon Detective Pikachu's Dan Hernandez and Benji Samit set to write. Deadline has learned. So we tracked 17 copies sold. It had a 7-day trend of 201% and a high sale of $30 for a near mint raw copy. The ratio 1:25 and 1:50 covers for Figment's first comic appearance are also trending. So go check those out if you get a chance.
All right, let me read this right. If you said that this is Seth Rogen's company?
Seth Rogen's Point Grey.
You don't picture him doing content for kids because, I guess because I just literally watched Sausage Party 2 days ago. If you haven't seen Sausage Party,
outrageously hilarious.
But it's pretty deep too because it's like a metaphor for like religion and all this other stuff, and it's really deep, man. Shout out to my homeboy Timo DeVale. That's my homeboy from the hood, way back in the day. I known him since knee high, since junior high, man. Shout out to my homeboy Timo, man. Glad you could join us, brother. There you go. Number 7 on the list is Disney Kingdoms Figment number 1. Damn. All right, let's see. Are we going to get another one? Oh!
Here we go. All right, New Mutants 98 from 1991. Deadpool is back in the news, you say? Yes, and so is his first appearance. Deadpool's first appearance saw a huge boost during the COVID comic boom before trending back into more affordable territory over the past year. However, that may not last long thanks to the recently announced 3rd film in the franchise. Not only does his 3rd outing reportedly feature the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but it also will be the first time the Merc with a mouth will appear in the MCU. What a proud papa Rob Liefeld must be. The community is extremely excited, quickly making this the most anticipated film right now. We tracked 40 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 118%, with a high sale of $1,600 for a CGC 9.8 and a raw near mint fair market value of $380.
Do you remember when this was going for like $5,000?
I had 4 copies at one point. I sold them all.
Did you say $5,000?
Yeah, at one point it was like in the 4,000s.
It was
at one point a 9.8.
Uber hot, yeah. But there are a ton of them.
Like high 4,000s.
Yeah, there are a ton of them. But before we get any further, let's hear from our sponsor, My Slabs. You want to sell your New Mutants 98? You're tired of paying 10, 15, 20% or more? Join the 1% revolution.
The platform designed by collectors for collectors just got even better. MySlabbed.com is proud to now feature dedicated sections for both raw cards and raw comic books. Browse over 100,000 slab collectibles, authenticated by the industry's most trusted grading companies. Then check out a massive selection of sealed wax and now raw singles and raw lots. Join a passionate, no-nonsense community of nearly 50,000 members and enjoy some of the best buyer and seller protection in the business. And as always, MySlabs offers one of the most disruptive pricing models in the hobby, with seller fees as low as only 1%. So the next time you're forced to pay 10%, 20%, or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com, the low-fee marketplace, by collectors, for collectors.
Interesting comment here from Will Wang. He saw Rob at Tustin's Comics, Tunes, and Toys, which is my LCS. The story is that Rob Liefeld worked there in the 80s. And so he pops in every now and then. And the last time he popped in, he just showed up and he was buying stuff. And I talked to him and he signed some books for me before he blocked me. So that's why he got the finger. Yeah. But I mean, he's come in there. I seen him with one time by himself. He came in there with Robert Kirkman at a time. It's just interesting how small the comic community world is. And he went on some tangent on, I don't know if it was Whatnot or something else, talking about the first appearance or whatever, but the ADD is real and flowing through that man's body. I don't know how he has the energy.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I don't know. Maybe it's real energy. I don't know. But yeah, number 6 on the list, Mew Newman's 98.
Matcha tea.
Matcha tea, yeah. Mew Newman's 98, back in the list again. How long will it stay on there? 1,600 is for 9.8 seems pretty cheap to me. But like I said, it's the Feige effect. I think sales are going to jump.
Yeah, it was a lot more at one point.
Yeah, but it went back down. But as soon as Fox was bought out by Disney, and then Disney's figuring out what they do, and Ryan Reynolds is the master of marketing. You know what I'm saying? Him and Hugh Jackman have been joking about this I'm still skeptical about it. I think if Hugh Jackman does show up, it's going to be a cameo, and they're going to cast a younger Wolverine. But that's just my 2 cents. So take it for what it is. But either way, you're going to get it somehow, some way. But all right, what do we got for number 5?
Well, Rob Liefeld. This is Wolverine 155, and this is Prime Rob, interior artist, cover artist, and writer. This book had his name all over it. Fitting for the creator of Deadpool, and boy, does he bring his A game with this epic cover and all along the Watchtower storyline, featuring yet another matchup between Deadpool and, yeah, you guessed it, Wolverine. Not necessarily hero or villain quite yet. Deadpool was still being developed. With the announcement, fans and collectors have been grabbing every meeting between these two titans that they can get their hands on, including some more affordable books, such as this fun Liefeld homage to McFarlane's Incredible Hulk 340. We tracked 30 copies sold. It had a 7-day trend of 251% and a high sale of $275 for a CGC 9.8, and a raw near mint fair market value is $81.
This is what I would consider a straight up swipe. This is not an homage because it just says Liefeld. It doesn't say Liefeld after Todd. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't say, let's just say McFarlane and Liefeld are some of the biggest egos in the industry. I mean, one is more demonstrative than the other, but say what you will about Rob Liefeld, though. He was very generous when he had his own, Extreme Studios or whatever. He was paying his artists a ton of money, which also helped, kind of bring the demise of his studio as well. On Thursday, when we have Gabe on here, I'll tell the story about how much Stephen Platt was getting paid per page. It was he was basically ended up being paid 50, 60 grand for one comic. Print runs were huge back then, just make sure you guys remind me on Thursday. I'm going to ask Gabe about it, how much Liefeld was paying his artists. Art was what was pushing Image Comics. It wasn't called, it wasn't called Dialogue Comics. It was called Image Comics because of the art.
The stories.
Who wants to buy something called Dialogue Comics, right? All right, number 5 on the list is Wolverine 155 coming in at number 5. What do we got for number 4?
All right, so we're
Holy
kind of
cow,
staying in the
another
same
one.
reign there. Wolverine 154. This is from 2000, part one of Liefeld's All Along the Watchtower storyline and previous book to our previous entry. We have yet another matchup of the two mutants. After parting on good terms in their last meeting, Wolverine Annual 1999, the two get in an altercation and another epic fight ensues. This time, Deadpool gets the upper hand on our dear, short, hairy friend in Wolverine after being relatively evenly matched. We tracked 42 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 282%, with a high sale of 140 for a CGC 98 and a raw near mint fair market value of 24. Yet another affordable key pertaining to Deadpool and Wolverine.
I don't know if this book has ever been like more than $10. Then I think about it. I mean, wow, so there you go. Let's take a count of how many we have now. Over under is 8.5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Wow. So the over under is 8.5. So we're getting close. What do we got up next?
Well, here we go. The X-Men Premium Edition. This is Toys R Us variant number 1 from 1993. And several sources cite this as Deadpool and Wolverine's first meeting and battle. So we grabbed our copies and read them together as a team. Well, we didn't, but the CovrPrice guys did. And first, it does appear to be in continuity, and it does feature the first meeting of Deadpool and the X-Men. Deadpool appears in 9 panels as a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and directly interacts with Cyclops and Gambit. However, here's the kicker. Deadpool and Wolverine have no interaction, verbal or physical, with each other. Those points have created a gray area and left room for debate. Does that count if they're in the same room together fighting? One panel shows Deadpool amongst the X-Men deciding to bow out of the fight, whereas Wolverine is in the distant background fighting the Blob. So what do you think? Is this a first meeting? The market clearly favors Wolverine number 88 with a cool cover and a dedicated issue to both Deadpool and Wolverine talking and fighting. Yet this book was still able to get significant traction due to its minor key status of officially meeting the X-Men. It doesn't hurt that it also had a much lower buy-in at around $4 last week. We tracked 43 copies sold. It had a 7-day trend of 282% with a high sale of $110 for a CGC 9.6, and the current raw fair market value is around $11.
So we talked about this on the Shaker Show, and this is the only panel they appeared together on screen. You see Wolverine attacking the Blob in the background. Then at that moment, Deadpool goes, "Wait a second, why am I fighting you guys?" He does battle like Cyclops and I think somebody else at one point, but hey, it's what are we to say? What do we always say? It's the market that dictates it. It's not, I hate the I word, but influencers or whomever. But hey, man, if you saw these other books, why not this one? Because people are getting priced out of the first meeting. So we shall see. I mean, X-Men Premium Edition of Toys R Us edition number 1 for this panel right here. So I guess they met. I mean, they didn't talk to each other. They didn't fight each other. I mean, but that it goes and it brings up the whole narrative of what's actually a first meeting, right? Is it a first battle? Is it the first time they fight, or so on and so forth? But hey, man, it's whatever the market dictates. And I'm just Ron Burgundy reading the news with salon quality hair. That's what I say.
Ron Burgundy?
Yeah. All right. What do we got for number 2?
All right. Number 2, we got Star Wars Dr. Alpha, number 24 by Ricky Yagawa. This is from 2022. Star Wars lore is ever growing, giving the fandom more to research, talk about, and collect as time passes. With the release of this book, we received the first appearance of the Dark Seekers, members of the Sith who wield red lightsabers. Many may confuse them with the Inquisitors, yet they stand apart. The Dark Seekers are meant to protect the Sith from other threats instead of hunting Jedi, while also aiming to eliminate the Ascendant, even worse bad guys than the Sith, in several ways. They're a fantastic addition to the Star Wars canon and one the fans should be after. We tracked 101 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 358%, with a high sale of $30 for a near mint raw copy and a near mint fair market value of $17.
Wow, so we had 2 books that broke the kind of Wolverine. So let's cut them up here. All right, over-under is 8.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the last one. If you get it, you got the over. If you didn't, you got the under. So what do we got for number 1? Oh,
yeah, you guessed it. This is Wolverine 88, the deluxe edition. And if you don't live under a rock, you know that the internet was on fire this week with the announcement of Deadpool 3 and the inclusion and return of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. This unexpected news makes sense to follow D23 as it would have overshadowed the entire event, and they knew it. While Deadpool and Wolverine's key books are seeing brisk sales, this issue received immense attention. Why? Well, you probably know by now, but this issue features Wolverine and Deadpool's first direct meeting and battle. We tracked a massive 296 copies sold at a 7-day trend of 278%. I say of $8 and $10. You see 9.8, and the near mint fair market value is currently $115 for this monster.
I think this will continue to grow. I don't see it going anywhere. This is the first battle. Okay, so we don't have to get into the whole narrative of first meeting. This is the first time they fought together. Iconic cover. Wolverine 88 coming in at number 1, the direct deluxe edition variant. So there you go, boys and girls. Make sure you check out Laura. She has to bounce out and join the Near Nirvana crew right now. I was able to redirect. So Laura, any last words? What do you got going on this weekend? I heard there's some small show that you're going to.
Oh, yeah. If any of you are going to be in New York, Bird City Comics, we have 2 different exclusives that we're going to have there, a Miles Morales 42 and a Vanish book. So come and find us. Say hi. We'll be at the booth Thursday through Sunday all day. So, yeah, I'd like to meet you in person.
They're the only ones that have the Miles Morales 42 at the con. So all the homies, MY Warriors, Pressable Defects, whomever, go out and say what's up to Laura, Bird City Comics, and make sure you patron their booth, whatever that is. But Laura, I'll let you escape now. Our Dark Side Jedi says his goodbyes, and we said on the intro, and then everybody head over to Near Nirvana. They're going to do a Werewolf by Night thingy Bobby Jigger. Dark Side Jedi, any last words?
I'm excited about that Werewolf by Night, and I'm also excited about it's October, so we got to figure out a date for the October auction. It's the scariest auction on YouTube with Lords of the Long Box. So I'm ready.
Should we just wait till Black Friday, or should we do 2?
Well, you know what? It depends on what people's finances are like. I could do 2, but we could talk about that at a later date.
After the video,
I do have a Werewolf by Night first appearance of Werewolf by Night though that I do want to sell.
So do I. I have a slabbed 8.0. I think so. Leave a comment after the video posts if you want us to do an auction in October and November, because we always do Black Friday. That's a given. So see if you want us to do Black Friday as well. Till actually, see you guys tomorrow actually for me and Mikey Sutton. We actually have a Monsterverse long-term spec list from Marvel that they're moving forward on. Some may 1 or 2 may have been in Werewolf by Night, but they're going to continue on. And this, I always say these long-term spec lists are pretty obscure, but this one really
it's
obscure.
A cool one though. I like it.
Yeah. So tomorrow around 5 or 6.
It makes me look up characters that I don't really know, and it's cool to learn about them.
Yeah. So tomorrow around 5 or 6 p.m., we're going to do a live long-term spec list and Letters of the Long Box with Mikey Sutton. So make sure you tune in. Until then, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Peace.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is In this, you shall know that the Lord is
Go on and get some, boy. Jack, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is
What's in the box?